Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Crystal Newman and it's always a pleasure to have you here listening to my chit chat with my guests. Now we happen to be at the Patio Restaurant and Lounge in Bukoto. Lovely spot. You need to come try the food, the drinks. And today I am chatting with someone who I think we have a lot in common. My last episode was a Crystal's Bites episode. I'm a foodie. I love food, I go looking for food, and that is exactly what she does. I have Martina Eseza joining me today. If you go online, you'll see Martina's hunger guide on Instagram, Facebook, and where to dine. It's what you need to look for if you're wondering where to go in this Kampala of ours. So, Martina, hi.
Thank you for that very beautiful introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. You are a food blogger. You are a restaurant reviewer. Because
yes.
critic is scary, huh?
Critic is a bit... I give the honest feedback, but of course sometimes you have to put into consideration that this is someone's business.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so.
I always see that, even when you give your honest feedback, you're very polite and very nice about it. And I love that.
Thank you.
Because you're like, okay, it was nice, but the portions are small. And I'm like, I need to know that information. Thank you. And then you put the prices and I'm like, yes, so someone can go prepared. If you want to take someone for a date, yeah, you have to think about how much money you have.
Exactly, exactly. So I try to balance both ends because I know setting up a whole restaurant in this Kampala can't be easy.
Exactly.
So even when the food is not good, most times it could be a once in a lifetime thing. Maybe it is.
Maybe it's a bad
day. So you
day.
have to extend grace. You have to also be like, yeah, it was bad, but then also measure the positives because everything can't be bad.
Thank you.
Can, but
no, but you talk about the service, you talk about the ambience, not just the food
and the prices, because prices.
So Martina, I know Martina Eseza, but there are other names. I was like, ha! You'll help me.
So I am called Nanyombi Eseza, Martina, Tembo, Thungu. Yeah.
Did the whole clan come together to give you your name?
My dad is generous when he's giving them.
Okay.
Yes.
So which ones are your favorites?
I wouldn't say
because I know I do not like my middle name. I'm not even going to share it.
Nanyombi is I like each one is unique.
Okay.
Nanyombi, then Eseza was my grandmother's name, so I love that.
Yes.
Martina was given to me by my mom. Tembo is our family name. Then Thungu is my name for Amamukonzo, so Thungu is part of that. So.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of rich history and identity when it comes to your name.
True.
All right. So my dear, your love for food, which is what brought us together the first time. And I love that you've gone out to actually come up with a guide for people who like to eat out, right?
Yes.
When did you think about this first? Where did it begin?
So I had this thought for the longest time ever, but executing it was the problem. Like when you think about something and you're like, I'll do it, but you never do it. So me and my friends usually like going out once in a while, not every day, but we like trying out the new spots around. And
so
we
you
used
have
to
a
do
friend who's with you, huh?
Yes.
Most times. Okay.
Yeah, most times. But then I realized that personally, before I go out, I have to know how much am I going to spend. I have to be within my budget. I don't want to reach there and wash dishes. What we see in the movies, I'm sure it's not washing dishes.
Yeah, I think you leave your phone and come back later.
Those things. So I'd like to receive a menu. I go through. So when I reach a restaurant, I usually know what I'm going to have, what price range it's within. Like, I know my budget. If it's 50, I know it's 50. So I realized when I used to reach out to these restaurants online or via phone call, some say, oh, sorry, we can't share our menu with you.
Oh.
Yes. And others were so inactive that they won't even read your message.
They wouldn't even respond.
So I was like, why don't I just start something small where, of course, I can't share the whole menu, but I can share the range of the meals. So you go knowing
Yeah, you have
this
an
is where
idea.
I lie. So that's how I came up with the whole idea.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can honestly say personally, I've looked through when I'm looking for somewhere new to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, where haven't I been? Oh, that's new. Ooh, that looks nice. So tell me about you growing up. Were you born in Uganda?
Yes, I was born here, most definitely, Mulago Hospital.
Mulago.
I studied from here my whole life. I was in Sao Paulo Kwagwa Primary School, the Mango branch. There were like 7 branches. There were like 7 schools. And then I went to Green Hill Academy for my O level. From Green Hill, I went to St. Mary's Chitende
Was that for A levels?
for A level.
Okay.
Then I went to Makerere University, and now I'm planning to do something else.
What did you do at Makerere?
Quantitative economics.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing you love food. You're a blogger,
Yeah.
a reviewer, not a critic. But do we have like a day job, like a full-time job as well?
Yes, currently I have a day job, but shocking enough, it's not in line with what I studied. It's
Oh.
more of marketing, and because I feel like in life, you never know what you want to do, because most of the time you grow up being told what you're going to do, like go to school, pass, and do this. Like you being told what you have to do.
Then you kind of
By the
figure
time
it
you
out
reach
after
these
that.
things of to discover yourself, like it's so hard to discover. You don't even think about discovering yourself.
Yeah.
So I found it easier in that line, and the fact that I got a job within that line, I
Yes.
took it on.
Okay.
So basically, I'm changing.
Right. So you're in marketing, even though you studied quantitative economics,
Yeah.
and then you're into food as well.
Yes.
Have you practiced in terms of your degree? Has it come in handy when you look?
I haven't practiced it because I do not want to practice it.
So you didn't enjoy it.
No, I didn't.
It was more about here's the degree, mommy, daddy. Was it?
I just didn't. I didn't enjoy it basically, and this life is too short to do something you not enjoy. It's hard. Like the whole process of changing is hard, but you have to do the hard things if you want to actually come out on the other side.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so tell me, like, growing up, were you into food at any point? Is there anyone in your family who liked to cook? Did you spend time in the kitchen?
My mom was very open with us. Like she wanted us to try out in the kitchen. So the first meal I remember learning to cook was, of course, eggs. The first meal I ever cooked, and I remember that whole week I cooked eggs for a week because I was so proud of myself. I was like, eggs.
I can make eggs.
So now she stepped it up a notch and brought in now like Irish.
Okay.
When I learned Irish, I was like, it was the same excitement all along.
So the whole week you cooked.
Irish. So we've grown up cooking because, of course, in most Ugandan households, especially as a girl, most times you know how you're being taught how to cook.
You're taught how to cook.
Yes.
You said
So,
you have siblings.
Pardon?
When you said you have siblings as
Ah,
well?
yeah. I
Uh-huh.
have siblings.
Oh.
Very many siblings.
A lot of siblings?
Yeah, we are 8.
Oh,
Yes.
big family.
Yeah, very big.
So can you say like you safely learned how to cook for the whole family? Or is it like a few dishes here and there?
No, when you cook for everyone.
Cook for everyone.
If
Okay.
you decided to cook for everyone.
Did
But it
your
was
brothers learn how to cook?
nice. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, my brother knows.
Brother.
They bring us up in a way that, yes, you're a boy, but you still have to know how to take care of yourself. So you have to learn how to cook.
I like that things have changed a lot in the last how many years?
True.
Before boys were supposed to go and sit and be served.
Relax.
Hey, excuse me, whose head of a home are you? to be sitting and they just bring food to you. Okay, that's something for another day.
I know.
Okay, so by the time you finish school, did you ever see yourself in food? Like when you finish high school?
No, high school, no.
No.
It never even crossed my mind.
Other interests, music, art?
I used to love writing poems for myself.
For
For
yourself.
myself. So I'm those people that journal. I like journaling. I feel like it helps a lot, especially like for me. You know, people are different, but for me, journaling really, really, it's a good thing for me. I've kept a journal every year of my life. Like, okay, by every year I mean, let
Like
me
from
say
the time you
S1,
started.
S2, S3. I have a journal for each
Oh my
and I go back
goodness.
and read, and I'm like,
I was about to ask you if you go back because when I look back at some of the diaries I have, I'm like, oh my gosh.
it helps you to really see your growth or your setbacks.
Yeah.
You really see it. Like if you were strong in one point, in one thing at this point, you go back and read, and you're so passionate about this thing, and right now you don't even care about it, and you're like, how the times change.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like journaling. So I used to write poems, brief poems. I used to actually have a WordPress, but it was private. So basically, I love writing.
You had a whole WordPress.
Yeah,
But
but
you
it was
can.
like for myself. It was for me.
Okay. Didn't you share it at least with a few people?
Nothing. Actually, right now I don't even know where it is at.
Did you ever share your poetry?
Okay, maybe my friends, the ones I studied with, once in a while, they'd go through. It wasn't like a diary of secrets. No, no, you just write about how you're feeling that day, what happened, like self-reflection, basically. So they would go through and be like, hey, so you write poems, and they would just laugh about it. But for me, it was something I do to calm myself, to like release whatever I'm feeling. I would write it in a poem.
Okay, so it was a bit of your own therapy in
Yes.
some ways, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing you're going to write more as time goes. Because right now you are writing a bit.
Yeah,
It's about
bits.
food and your experiences, but you are, the writer in you is there.
Yeah, true. And Instagram has the limitation of words, so I don't really exhaust all I want
Everything
to
you
write.
have to say.
Yes, and of course you cannot write a different post for Facebook and Instagram, especially now for if you have one page, they usually match up. Because Facebook lets you rant.
Yes.
It lets
You
you.
can even put like 5 pages.
Yes. Yeah.
So Facebook, you can rant and rant and rant. So I know that you're active on Instagram, you're active on TikTok, and you're
Yes.
active on Facebook.
Yes.
You have a blog though. Do you?
No, I don't. But I have a YouTube channel.
Yes. So your YouTube
That's-
channel, is it the same, Martina's Hunger Guide, or Where to
It's
Die?
Where to Die in Uganda.
Where to Die in Uganda.
Yes.
Okay.
YouTube, I took a pause for a while because I used to do it mostly in lockdown. We're all like just there.
Ah, yeah, because you used to cook as well. You
Yeah,
share a
I
lot of
used.
that.
They were mostly cooking videos. Then I started doing restaurant reviews when they had let us out a bit, but then I found it a bit hard.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, to balance it. It was so I put a pause on it, but
Okay.
I didn't give up on it. I'll go back to it
Exactly.
very soon before this year ends.
No, content creation.
I
And I'm
know.
always excited. I think everyone knows now. I'm always paying attention to people who are jumping into content creation
Yes.
because we need to support each other. It's not
That's
easy.
true. That's so true.
And
It's
you
not-
start with like your 10 numbers, then you go to your hundreds. The numbers grow slowly, slowly, slowly.
They keep on, and you don't have to worry about the numbers because if you do, you can just beat yourself up for nothing.
You can beat yourself up. You can find yourself doing things that are completely not in,
Exactly,
in
just
your
because
character.
you want to.
I think that's the beast that
attract
social media
attention.
is. Yes. You're like, oh my God, I need more people. Then you throw some clothes.
Because I remember when I started personally, my page was actually private. No one knew about it, not
Okay.
even my friends. So
Oh my.
I opened Where to Dine. I put up my first post.
Yeah.
I remember very well it was La Cabana, and I think we had Kampala Restaurant Week. So I had gone there some time back. I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So I looked through my phone for some food that I had had before. I remembered that experience so well,
Okay.
well enough to write about it. I was like, this is it.
Okay.
I posted, I just left it there. And shockingly, I was getting followers. I'm like, this people finding this page that has 0 followers. And just like that, from 2, they became 10, from 10, 25, 50. Like the growth is slow but steady.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think now you're above 5,000 or
Yeah,
yeah.
5 point something.
Exactly. Good stuff. And you have loads of content.
Yeah.
And I like looking at food, so it makes me happy. It makes me so happy. So, my dear, you and your friend were going out, and it started from a place of, I'd also like to plan my budget and what
Yes.
to do. What I like is, some people when they post about food, they only post certain places.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
certain types of food.
Yes.
Because I remember one of the times I posted Luombo, and they're like, you mean Crystal, you also eat Luombo? I posted my boiled maize, so happy with myself because I had
Yeah.
been craving. They're like,
How
you-
dare you? This also makes it to the gram.
And I'm like, but it's food. So how do you decide? Because like you said, you try to make sure that there are options.
Personally, I eat everywhere. I like to save. So most days, I'm eating somewhere whereby that food is really affordable. And I'd like to showcase everyone. I don't want to be like, this is a food reviewer for high-end restaurants. No. Like once in a while, you also go to all the other restaurants, like different types, like restaurants that serve local food, boiled foods. You have to experience it all,
Yeah.
and I love experiencing it all. So how I decide, it's mostly about, like how you scroll through Instagram, you see a new place, you're like, oh, okay. You look at the menu, like, can I afford it yet? No. Okay, first wait.
I'll come back to you.
I'll come back to you later. Then you're passing by, like, let me say I'm going home. I see a new restaurant has popped up. Now, recently, I went to a restaurant along the way to my home. And how I noticed it is that they put out a big signpost showing boiled meals.
Boiled meals.
Yeah. And then every evening I'd go back home, I'd find cars parked, filled. I'd like, what's so special about this place? One day, because it's a walking distance from home, I just went home, walked back to the restaurant, checked it out.
Okay.
So it's mostly spontaneous with planning. It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's curiosity and hunger.
Yeah. Hunger, most definitely.
Hunger is not to be played with. I will look at a sign on the road and I'm like, I'm hungry. Let me try
Let me try this out.
this out. So, do you have like your friend? Is she also kind of a blogger, or she just goes for the food when you go together, or do you
yeah.
now go with different people?
There are different people, but of course they are the ones that I usually go with. Then I don't know. I can't specify one person, but then most of them are foodies. Like they love to eat out,
Yes.
but they're not into the posting bit of it. They're like, you do you.
Okay.
Reach a point whereby when we go out together, they first be like, you guys, wait, Martina hasn't taken a picture yet. Take your pictures. Because I started by saying, hey, you guys, let me first take a picture of your food. Let me take a picture of your food. So they got used to it, and they're really supportive. Like they support system.
Bambi, I just heard my children. They're like, Mommy first has to take pictures. I'm like, yes. Before we eat, it's
Even at
taught them
home,
some
I would-
self-control.
At home, I'd cook something, and then there's a time I made KFC like chicken, like that recipe for
Yes, like fried
KFC
chicken.
like chicken. Yeah, for fried chicken. And everyone looked at the chicken and was like, I have to first take pictures.
Before you even reach out your fingers and
And
grab
like,
a
it's
piece.
okay. How can we help you? Should we put it here? Should we put it at this time? Yeah, but it's about the people you surround yourself with also. If they're
Yeah.
supportive, what you do becomes very easy.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Huh?
Yeah.
That's nice. So tell me, you said during the lockdown is when you were cooking a lot and posting a lot on YouTube.
Yes.
Now, personally, I walked all over this city looking for rare ingredients because I couldn't eat out, and I was
Yeah.
missing the experience of eating out
Of
so
eating
much
out,
that I
yes.
was determined to try and recreate so many things. So I baked bread. Man, I lost it a bit.
Everything. Like that time you cooked things you've never even thought about. Remember we cooked pretzels at home.
You made
Like
pretzels?
pretzels, like
I've
who
never made
makes
pretzels. Okay, tell me
every
more. Give me suggestions.
we made kebabs, samosas, so many things, lasagna. We tried out everything because the flowers there, the time was in plenty. And it was a good bonding time because looking back at those moments with all my siblings around, it's a good moment to look back at. I
Yeah.
don't think we'll ever have that time again, like whereby you
Right.
just you have no responsibility at the moment, like you have nowhere to go, no one is waiting for you anywhere, you're home. But yeah,
You're right. We'll never have that again.
true.
Well, it's a
I
good
hope
thing
we
that we
don't
never
know.
have it again, though. But it really was a time to
Yeah.
be with your people.
Yeah, it was.
Unfortunately, for some people, it was for breakups. For
Yeah,
others,
that's
it
true.
was for new
It was
relationships, for
was
family.
very tough. But most people saw the good in the bad, but some people it was really bad, so you can't really
Yeah.
tell.
Okay. All right. So it's more or less like, let me try this, let me try that. How has it been for you as a content creator? Because so many people are trying to get into content creation. And again, I said, I'm always paying attention and always
Yeah.
like, ooh, what's working for you? How has it been for you getting into content creation? Was it what you expected?
Personally, I didn't even think about content creation while beginning. It was more of I'm taking my pictures of food and putting them up. Until I got like an inquiry, like someone wanting to work together. That's when I was like, oh wait, I can actually do this, do this. Like I wasn't even sure what am I supposed to tell them, how much am I supposed to charge them, because the information is not like out there how you say this is the rate
Yeah.
you charge people that do this. So it was a bit hard, honestly, like drawing into the whole content creation process. It's not really known. It hasn't yet picked up yet.
Yeah.
We
It's
are
picking
still,
up a little bit, but
it's trying, but okay, hopefully, I know we'll reach there one day.
yeah.
But at the beginning, it was really, really, and of course, in the beginning, I think I was excited. You know, you get excited, and when someone tells you, "Oh, would like to work together on this," you're like, "Oh my God, yes!" And then you look back, and you're like,
That was a lot of work. You should have paid me more.
"I know." But then you also think about it like, okay, so I think it's so hard because information is not on your fingertips.
Yeah.
It's something everyone is learning, like everyone is learning on the job. So even restaurants or places that reach out to you, or brands, let me say brands that reach
Yeah.
out to you, they come to you with different budgets. You're not sure what budget you should set. You're just hoping, okay, let me count my expenses. What am I putting in?
Yeah.
Am I getting something after I deduct the expenses?
That is it.
But then you're not sure, like, what is the limit? What is there's no.
Appropriate rate or
Yes. So that's the hard part about it. But I think where we are going, I think the future is bright. I see many people sharing, talking about the conversation of content creation, and I think we are heading to a good space.
I think so. And I think with time, it takes time as well to start,
Yes.
to get to a point where you have your rates set, where you can negotiate and
Yes.
make sure that it's worth your time. Because
True.
especially with food, when you're cooking and creating,
Yeah.
people don't realize you can be cooking for 3-4 hours.
And sometimes you're doing it by yourself, so it's not like as if you have someone helping you, following you around the kitchen. No, like you place your camera there, you throw in the tomatoes, you bring it back this side, like it's a whole process. It's time consuming, and then you're trying to create quality content. You don't have to just put anything out there. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's nice to hear. So you said you did quantitative economics,
Yeah.
and then you're working in marketing. but of course you're passionate about food. Then I heard you say that you're planning to do something else. I was listening. What is that? Are you planning to go to catering school?
It's not yet out yet.
It's
Something I'm still figuring out.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I'm ready, I will definitely say what it is.
So you're working on something more around food.
Yes, something more around everything that will join whatever I'm doing like this into one whole
Okay.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, we shall be waiting.
Thank
We shall
you.
be waiting.
Yeah.
It's nice always meeting other people who are passionate about food.
That's true.
And it's really your passion that has got you now to where you are and where you are heading, right?
Yes.
So that's always very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. So tell me, what has been the most challenging thing for you in the last few years? Because you said, you did that course at university, but you didn't like it. And then you made the decision, like, this is not what I want to do. A lot of people find themselves there and they're stuck. And they can be stuck for 10 years, even 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this, I don't like what I'm doing, but they're stuck. How do you negotiate that?
I think sometimes you have to be honest with yourself. It's very hard. I cannot even. That moment was like my lowest moment of transitioning from that side to this side. It's not easy, but you have to be honest with yourself. But also, the people around you matter. Like, for me, I am lucky enough that I have a support system that is solid. It's there. We've been through thick and thin.
This includes family?
Yes, my family. And so that is something that I'm so grateful for, that words can't even say how grateful I am for it. Because some things you look at them and they seem like this giant thing that's in front, like you're not seeing anything, like it's blocking everything. But when you have a support system around you, they break it down.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, there's way here, there's way here, there's way there. So that's what I would say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Now-
leave it there.
Okay. Support system. Very
Yes,
important.
Very important.
I want to take you back to content creation.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips? Any do's, any don'ts?
Any
What
what?
you any
Do's and-
tips regarding content creation around food?
Any tips? Maybe I would say take your time. Do not succumb to the pressure of social media.
Okay.
Like you might want to try out every restaurant around Kampala in a week. Like if you can't, please do it at your own pace. Do what makes you happy. Because it's something that is enjoyable. Most people that do content creation do it because they enjoy it. So if you're going to put yourself on pressure while doing it, you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you go out when you can and are able to. Be consistent in the way that you can. You can be consistent saying, I post once every 2 weeks. That's consistency.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be every day.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing one time you posted that people ask you if you eat out every day. And I find that hilarious when you post food and people are like, oh my God, you eat out every day. I'm like, no.
That was true. That was very...
And you had to come back and say, no,
No,
guys.
I know.
I plan and I go out
Yes.
once in a while, like
Yes.
maybe every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To find a balance. Because, of course, even this food, you can't really have it every day. Like,
Uh-huh.
personally, what I have these days, because what I have for lunch is basically like a fruit salad or something. So now, like weekends, I'll now say, let me go out and do where to take content. Because
Okay.
even as you're eating out, you have to keep healthy.
Yes.
However, you can't eat everything and just expect to sit there and relax. So you have
Not
to
to
also
self,
keep
Krista,
your
don't
health
eat
in
everything.
check. So I also keep my health in check by not really doing the thing all the time. So
Too
you
much
find-
of junk and oily
Yes.
foods and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it is a very delicate balance, I
Sure.
will say.
Yeah.
Okay. So When I asked you about, for tips in content creation, one of the things that I see that you do really well is engagement and interaction, because I think that's also a very big part of it, and
Yes.
part of why, slowly but surely you
That's,
see
yes.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you open up your page for people to ask you,
Questions?
yes, what is the craziest thing you've been asked, or the craziest thing someone has said to you when you're having those kind of interactions?
Um, One time I had a question sticker out, and someone came not to ask a question, it was more of like, let me say, criticizing.
Okay.
They're like, okay, so you come on here, post your food every day because you have money that maybe that is just lying around there. Some of us don't have that money that is lying around
Oh,
there.
wow.
So why are you're like making us feel like for us we don't have money to afford these places because for you're always out, you're always doing this and yeah, they said it.
Like you're showing off.
Yeah, you're showing off.
Some of us were struggling.
Stop showing off. We know you have money. Give me a little rich money, first of all. But then, yeah, I think that's the one I had. And of course, I responded to the person because, of course, it's social media. You put yourself out there, you'll get some.
You have
But
to be
there are things
ready
that are
for
too
what
negative
comes your
that
way.
you have to just block out.
Yes, of
But
course.
somewhere where you can respond and somebody is coming, they look like they're coming from a point of heart. Like you have to respond genuinely. Tell them what's up if it's worth responding to. Because
Yeah.
there are also things that
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I'd post my food and people are like, Crystal, suppose some of us were going hungry and you're posting burgers and things.
And you're
I felt
out
really
here.
bad for a while. Then I said, but see.
that's the thing about social media. People will not always post their problems or their issues or their bad times, or they won't post that they're having cassava today. So you have to come to it with an open mind. Know that whatever you're watching is probably the best. Probably that's the best that someone has had in a while, and they've decided to come on and share it because that's their happiness. But they also have their lows. They also have their downs. People are human. Everyone has their
Ups and downs.
yeah. It's never a straight curve.
Thank you.
So
Social media is not a reflection of real life.
it's not at all. Some people take it the way they see it. They think, okay, since you posted Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you were out Monday, Tuesday. No, sometimes you're posting and you're in your bed, sleeping, sipping on some water with lemon. But yeah, some people shouldn't take it so literally. Like when you see someone posting, it's not their actual life. It's not. They're just sharing the positive part about their life with you, and you should take it that way.
True, true. And one of the things I love, like following you and seeing what you're doing, is I remember how, okay, I am much older, but like 20 years ago, there were hardly any places. There were very few restaurants. 20, 25 years ago,
Yeah.
like eating out was something that people did for parties, birthday,
New Year's.
graduation, wedding. You were like, who's getting married so we can eat in a restaurant? So now when I look and see what's even online, from even just people who cook out of their kitchens at home or have
Yes.
cloud kitchens to actual restaurants, I feel like there's so much
Yeah.
variety. There's so much. What has surprised you the most? And is there anything that is now like in your favorites?
In my
when you go
favorites?
out, yes.
When
is
it
there a
comes
type
to
of
the-
cuisine or?
It's hard to pick. That's like the hardest question you can ask.
Now I know
a
you really
foodie.
like food.
I'm saying like, what should I leave? I feel like if I mention one thing, I'm leaving out the other. I think I love it all. I like, because personally I like experimenting with different things. When it means me eating a snake, I can't. I haven't just tried one, but I could.
So you're open
Just
to
to see the
crocodile,
feel
you're
of
open
it,
to
yes.
monkey.
I've
one
tried
day.
crocodile. I think that's the farthest I've gone. Sushi, it was so hard for me. I mean, they tell you this is raw fish, and I'm like, and you see them rolling the fish, and you're like,
And then you put it in your mouth and you're like,
it's that fast taste in the mouth that makes you feel like, why did I do this? But then you also appreciate that that's also someone's favorite meal. And
I think sometimes even just eating it, because when I first started eating sushi, I didn't like
Yeah.
it much either. Now,
But now you're
and
addicted.
also most people think of the raw fish, but that's sashimi.
Yes.
It's a different kind. So
Yeah.
then you have the sushi where you have cooked seafood
yeah.
that's being used.
Yes.
There are options.
There
Try
are
it.
options.
The point is try it.
Just
Try.
try it to see. Like, there's a lot of things to try in this world. And
Okay.
I'm ready to try them all
So I'm
when
wondering,
time allows.
I'm wondering, that you said you're part of a big family, you have your siblings. Have any of them been open to experimenting as much as you? Because when you started cooking more at home, that's when
Actually-
your people actually had to try so many things.
Actually, the cooking part wasn't really led on by me.
Oh.
It was led on by one of my siblings. She's called Evelyn.
Okay.
So every time she would come, she was like, today we are making kebab.
Okay.
And I'd be willing to join in. Personally, I don't really like cooking that much, to be honest.
I am feeling very guilty, but you've given me permission to say the same. I prefer to do the eating, but we cook
I
too.
prefer to eat. But yeah, if at least I have the skills to cook, but if I have an option, I would choose the other side. So she
Okay.
was the one really leading. And then I have a sister who bakes.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's the one who was leading she's called Esther. She's the one who was like doing the pretzels, the buns, the everything, the cakes. Yeah. So
Okay.
it was a whole
When can I
experience.
come visit?
Thank you so much
And when
for
we're
having
wondering where to
me
go,
too.
we're like, where haven't I been? Go to where to dine. You're like, oh. So I'd just like to say thank you.
Thank you too so much for having me here.
And thank you for
It was-
joining me.
I was so nervous.
And you see,
But-
we've just chatted and laughed the
I
whole
know.
time.
But I'm glad. I'm so glad. And I'm glad that I came. Thank you for having me. It was
My
such
pleasure.
a lovely chat with you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Be blessed.